So today I want to talk about taking losses in trading. A lot of traders believe that taking losses is the worst thing that can happen. And this is almost a near, like most universal belief for traders, that they have to stop losing in order to become successful, to become consistently profitable. They should not be taking losses. And it's kind of understandable because no one likes to be losing money. No one wants to lose money. After all, you started trading to make money, not to lose it, right? And especially it can be painful when you have been trading for a while and you have lost a lot of money before. So every time that you take another loss, that pain is coming back, it gets triggered, and you tell yourself like the worst case scenarios, what's going to happen when you take another loss, right? So there's a lot of emotions coming up with that, and the result of it is you are trying to avoid it at all costs. But is it really the best way? Is it really avoiding losses that will get you there, that will get you to consistency and profitability? And just think about it for a second. If that were true, most traders would have been there already. Most traders would have been very rich if trying to avoid losses would really help them. But unfortunately, this is not the case. Most traders are failing. What it really does when you are trying to avoid losses is, first of all, it takes your focus away from your plan and from your process. When you start thinking about money, and money is always something that we put a value to, because we buy stuff for money. And every time you are taking a trade and you see a loss on your account, you immediately equate that to something that maybe you could have bought today or that you won't be able to buy tomorrow. So it triggers a lot of emotional load with it when you see a loss, and you simply don't want to take that. So instead of focusing on your plan and what the trade, how you plan that trade to go, and also where you were planning to take your risk, that goes out the window, and you just start acting on that emotion that just got triggered. Besides that, when you are trying to avoid losses, it's kind of counterintuitive, but it gets you to even worse loss. You are in a trade, maybe you have put a stop loss, maybe you haven't, because there's this common hope, I would say, or expectation that every trade should be working out. Of course, we know that logically that that's not the case, but emotionally that's what we hope for, right? So when you put a trade on and you don't put a stop loss, the moment that you give yourself already that open door and say, oh yeah, I will get out of that when it gets to that level, you are actually already setting yourself up for failure, because it's much more difficult to actually take it. So you start moving your levels, you go lower and lower and say, oh, okay, when it breaks that level, then I'm going to get out. By the time that you are there, the loss has become so big that now emotionally it is impossible for you to take it, because now you're going back to that first point and start to equate that loss and tell yourself you can't take it because it will be too much. So all you have left is wait and hope that the position will turn around and will go in your direction. That is kind of a lost battle as well, because the moment that the loss is getting bigger, you are not only losing your capital, but you are also draining your emotional capital. So even if there is a level where that position is turning around, you are now so drained, and actually all you want is to finish that pain, that emotional pain. You just like, all you want is just, please help me. Like, I just want to get out of it. I don't care about it anymore. And then you cut it, you have reached the threshold, and that's where you see the price turn around. I don't know how many times it happened to you, but I know that in the past that has happened to me plenty of times. What that does, that triggers another, it kind of opens a Pandora box, because now all the emotion of I was right and I was wrong that I got out of this trade, and you tell yourself, I knew it. You might be thinking, you know what, I'm going to get back into it because now I can make my loss back. However, your emotional capital is depleted. You are in a very different state of mind because you see that loss on your account. So it takes a huge resilience and skills to actually be able to manage the trade properly in order to make that loss back. Most cases that you even if the price will go back up, you probably will not manage it very well, so you will end up with a loss, and it's really never a right mind state to be managing the trade. So the last thing that happens when you are focusing on not losing money is, by staying in the losing position and trying not to lose, you are just wasting time. You're wasting precious time where you could be investing that capital into another trade that is working out. And instead, you are trying to go against the trend and make something work out that you already see it's not, and you're just acting out of desperation. So now, if that is not working, focusing on not losing, you could say, what is it working then, right? So let's look at all the successful traders and see how are we making sure that we can be consistently profitable despite taking losses. Losses are part of the game, right? And we all know that. So accepting that fact is the first thing, getting over that emotional hurdle to start reframing and looking at losses in a very different way. So what is really key in this process is to be able to regulate your emotions so that you don't act out of not getting triggered and don't act out of those emotional reactions, because taking rational decisions does not go with taking emotional decisions together. So it's either or. There is this big thing about resisting temptation. I'm sure that if you have been trading for a while, you have probably experienced some sort of greed, right? So whether you are in a losing position or in a profitable trade, there at some point there is this greed hitting. Okay, it's at my target, but I want more. So you have to be able to resist those temptations and take the decisions that you have planned before you were emotionally invested or financially invested, which kind of is the same thing, in that position, because you are you are then very differently managing your risk. So risk management and following your plan is like the basic thing. It's not avoiding losses, it's managing those losses so that they don't get out of hand, and that you can do that before they actually hurt you, because otherwise it's too late. And sticking to your rules, having the patience, having the discipline to consistently execute your plan and making decisions in your best interest. And those decisions, sometimes they might not feel good, like taking a loss. Nobody likes taking losses. You don't have to love it, but it is part of this profession. So if you want to be a professional trader, that is one of the things that it's really something that you need to get over it. So the question is whether you want to still operate out of that fear of losing, out of that urge of protect, like instead of looking at the opportunities, like being completely not panicked but immobilized by the fact, by seeing a trade that doesn't go your way and that possibly you might get stopped out? Or do you want to shift your focus and actually enjoy the process of trading, stop the stress that comes with that losses avoidance, and be able to follow your plan so that you know that despite of taking losses, you can still have a profitable week or a month, so that you can get to that level where you say, you know what, my income from trading is now consistent and I can grow it steadily, so that you also avoid that emotional roller coaster and you can leave that behind, that all the whole frustration, all being up and down all the time. So if you are ready for that, I invite you to get on my priority list for my coaching program that will be opening door soon. This is a mindset coaching program, the Rise Up of the Profitable Trader. And if you are ready to make that shift from where you are right now to trading with consistent profit, let's talk, and I will tell you and I will share on the call with you how I can help you get there in 12 weeks. And if you want to start your transformation already now, right away, taking steps, scan the QR code that you see on not this corner, and get registered for a free 14 days. It's like a mini course that you will be getting every day, an email, and this will give you a really good, comprehensive process guiding you through 3 steps of mindset transformation so that you can start seeing the results immediately in your trading. Thanks a lot, and let me know how you enjoy the mindset tips. Take care.